Mind Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice, and none of the information provided in this video should ever be a signal to buy or to sell. But first and foremost, we look at these crypto bubbles, and as we can see, they're still quite red across the board. Yeah, we're seeing some moves in the meme coin sector, but not as I see it within the utility sector. But our time will come. Now, Quant is down one rank to 77 with a market cap of $1.19 billion, currently sitting just below that $99, almost at that stable coin 100, and 24-hour volume still quite low at $19 million, nearly $20 million. But as I've always said, this does not bother me. And we're going to be honest today. But before we do that, we look at the exchange reserves. And as we can see, the total exchange reserves at the moment is 1.578 million. No real change there. And then we see the spot exchange just going sideways at 250,000 sitting there. Now, we go over to a short-term trading, bull shark trading. The price is still trading inside the weekly range. We see fair value gap below the range low, that we would love to see a wick take this out along with non-believers and paper hands. The spring is coiling up and compressing, getting ready to pop. And as we can see here, look, this is still ranging. We're waiting on all sorts of things to come up this year, and Quant is doing so much behind the backgrounds. And I use the quote, if we think of what happened to Amazon in 1997 to 2001, saw a massive decline, but Bezos was still talking about what was going on in the background. They were doing so much, and the price did not reflect that. And I see the same with Quant. It is a longer term hold, in my opinion, but Quant does its own thing, and we don't know what will happen. And we saw this yesterday, 3 huge texts to 3 separate new private wallets. And I say, when it rains, it pours. In the last 20 minutes, we've seen 3 texts, all worth in excess of $830,000. That was $8,471 per wallet. Total of these transactions were 25,113 quant with a value of $2.5 million, all in one go, literally at the same time, all heading to their respective wallets. Now, we see here another one. This came just before I missed it. But here we go, another new private wallet, 1,801 quant worth $180,000. Again, no outflows, new wallet. That's a lot of quant in the last 20 minutes, and we speculate these wallets are licensed lockups. Now, they are moving around a lot of this quant. Now, I can only see good things in my personal opinion, but we have to get honest. Now, Crypto Nerd here asked the question, what is your opinion on why Quant is stuck at under $100 despite all big news regarding Quant progress on an institutional level? He said he'll go first. In my humble opinion, he says Gilbert and the team, Quant Network, used to interact a lot with the community back in 2020 to 2021. That's why retail was invested. Okay, I get that. Now, if we look down here, we see this one from Dread Bongo. You cannot continue to act apathetic to community investors and expect them to stick around. They say they're not needed as the big boys are all that matters. We'll see if that turns out to be true or not. The success of a company and the success of the token can be 2 different things. And we get down here. Great to see some old holders being realistic on this part. Always like the vision of Quant, but they are basically almost abandoned the community. Now, this is basing everything on the community. Now, I get that, but it's not about the community. Quant is not a crypto coin. It is a utility token. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now, when I made my investment in Quant, I didn't make it on the basis of what the community thought of it. I was doing my own research on the basis of what it can do to the changing of the financial system, the changing of the guard. I look into it as a long-term hold. And we're not talking too long. We're just talking what's happening within the industry, within the financial world at the moment, and how it's changing, how blockchain is changing. Now, if I was to look towards the community, then we are looking at hype. And hype isn't how I invest. Yes, I've got other coins full of hype. And yes, I will invest in those coins, but I will not mess about with Quant. Why? Because anything can happen at any time. News can come out from some of the big organizations out there, and literally we'll see that price bump. Now, at the moment, some of it is speculation that we're hearing. We haven't heard much with regards to Project Rosalind. We haven't heard much from the BIS. A lot of it is putting the dots together, and that's how we invest. But a lot of people just want the hype from the community. Now, yes, I get that hype moves the community, but I don't invest in Quant for that hype. I am invested because I believe it's a solid project. And we can see down here, surely retail doesn't matter with Quant. We're peanuts compared to institutions. It's rope-a-dope, retail gets bored, then late. And I totally agree with that. Market maker Quant left and went to RNDR at 40. Check the chart. Now, people have got their opinions. I like, it's up to them. They can run with their coins. Most of those coins will probably pump and then just drop all the way back down and have no institutional adoption or anything. Now, this is why I hedge my bets. I stick to Quant for the long term. I choose other coins that I believe will absolutely pop off. But this is why I'm not just a maxi. Yes, I cover Quant videos. That's partly because I believe in the technology. I believe in what they're doing. Most of the other coins, I'm going to be quite honest, they are just there to service what I want out of this market via the bull run when it comes. But Quant for me is an absolute gem. Now, we see this from Confidential. You can never satisfy retail community. It's not a company's job to teach you how to invest. And that's absolutely 100%. You see here from Optical Fiber, if Quant was purely sold as a utility token for institutional use, why did Quant selling it to retail? My guess is because no institutions would take a punt on a startup. Confidential rightly replies, it wasn't. It's a utility token of the entire platform for both users. Doesn't mean they need to hype their business so traders can feel good about their investment. Now, I completely agree with that. Now, if we look over here, we saw this post from Tokenizer. Quant is not a crypto, and I completely agree. It's a utility token. Quant directly states this. I tend to agree as Quant isn't used or made to be used in the sense of crypto. The value won't be derived by community like crypto, but rather a value of Overledger's utility unlocked by Quant. Their focus is on building core enterprise infrastructure and standard grade technology. It just so happens that the Quant token is needed to operate Overledger efficiently. Could they just use fiat? Quite likely, but it'd make the aspects of provenance and the universal form of payment unit of account quite a mess. From tracking the licenses of clients to having a universal unit of account for payments and fees. It's 100 times easier using the provenance of a digital asset on a distributed ledger to manage the data. You're not going to see Quant promote their token like most other Web3 projects for this very reason. It's not their focus. The technology is behind the door. The token unlocks the said door. And as we can see here, what is the purpose of Quant? Quant is a utility token. It is used as a form to gain access to Quant services, most notably as a way for customers to use Overledger. Then we see here, they say, we have no interest in promoting our token as a cryptocurrency. It is a utility token for Quant ecosystem. Then we see here, why don't you provide information about Quant token? We are building enterprise grade products and solutions aimed at financial institutions, governments, corporate. The Quant token is an integral part to our platform. Pay for the software licenses and sending transactions, but it's not the focus of our efforts. So there you go. This is the way I look at it. I see Quant as my enterprise grade investment. The rest of it is pretty much for me throwaway. That's how I see it. I invest in Quant for the long term. I invest in everything else very short term. And that's the way I see it. Yes, it's not for community. And yes, it is aimed at institutions. But I think there's a lot of people out there, throwing their toys out of the pram because it doesn't fit the crypto bro mindset of all hype. I like this about Quant. That's why I like it. So there you go, guys. Remembering, please subscribe, please comment. All the best, and I'll catch you later.